Okay, an unusual topic for me is my favourite Jews. Just some of them. I don't want to make this video too long. It's a Hanukkah season. Hanukkah, the Jewish version of Christmas, and the New York Times celebrated by having a swastika-shaped crossword. That was obviously a little bit off. Pretty deliberate too. One of the, I think, 58 across is boxcars. Train reference. The next clue was 60 was about Brandenburg Gate. So yeah, congratulations to Andrew Anglin for getting a job as the crossword creator for the New York Times. You buy a Christmas turkey with that pay packet. We might start with the Israelis. Actually, you might think I'm not really a big fan of Israel, and that's more to do with 9/11 than the Palestinians. You can look that up online. Mint Press, Whitney Webb's written about that. If they were going to give them a state, give them a, if that was actually happened, that certain episode, give them a bit of Bavaria, the Nazi stronghold. So we'll do the Israelis first. One guy is Aaron Gross. He's a smart guy, Aaron. He's an Israeli settler, right-wing Trump supporter, like a lot of them. A little bit racist too, and we all are, aren't we? I said that before. I think Hulk Hogan said that. We're all a little bit racist, brother. And I'm no exception to that. He's quite a smart guy, Aaron. He's open-minded. He's fair-minded towards his opponents, I'd say. He defended Corbyn from the English irony accusation, that wild accusation that British Jews don't understand irony. He contextualised that and spoke against that. So he's fair-minded to his opponents, as well as being sort of curious about ideas, and also he wants his side to be better. He's sympathetic to sort of the gender critical, can't use the T word, gender critical side in the transgender debates, and you know, he wants his side to make better arguments. He's always asking the people on his side to argue better and make more logical arguments. So if there's sort of more people like that around, online debate especially would be a lot easier. Okay, as Israeli, Vanunu, he was hardcore. I'd like hardcore. What a tough guy, tough little guy. You can argue about the merits of what he's done, but tough guy. Did a lot of time in solitary confinement. An Australian guy died under solitary confinement. There was a big drama about 10 years ago. He was a secret Mossad spy. He botched something. The Return of the Soldiers remains, I think. Can't remember his name. It was on Four Corners about 10 or 12 years ago. So Vanunu, Mordecai Vanunu, he's a tough guy. Love a tough man. Really sort of Bobby Sands sort of toughness levels. Or Eric Levy, who I discussed earlier, the English guy. Human Shield, arrested during the COVID thing, breaching the COVID thing for protesting Assange. I did a separate video on him, so you know, he's above everyone. Jew, Gentile, he's head and shoulders above everyone. Eric Levy, RIP, died a few months ago. Ethan Klein, the YouTuber, I don't watch his videos, to be honest, but he goes hard. He really goes hard. I can't say anything. I can't repeat anything he says because that's how hard he goes. In his online statements, just absolutely like a bull at a gate. He just says it. He's got no sort of internal censor. Ethan, he's a content machine. He's incredible. I won't say anything that he said. You can find out. He goes hard. I love anyone who goes hard. Oh boy, he goes hard. And Gilad Atzmon, I discovered the sort of the Athens v Jerusalem thing, philosophical thing, via his works. A few sort of criticisms to be made of him, but I do get on well with him online. He's one of the handful of people I have a cordial relationship online, so I'm not going to berate him or criticise him too much. Friends are hard to find in the online space, or allies, people who are just polite and agreeable. We agree with certain things, and I'll probably disagree on others. I could do a video on that, but so I don't mind him. A few Israelis involved in the sortition. Paul Rosenfeld, I don't know if he was Jewish or German. The guy who was going to blow himself up on the National Mall on the 2018 election day. That was really, I said it on the other video about one of the Antifa guys. I've forgotten his name. Andy Fleming on the Passaran podcast had Guy Jordan. I did a short video about that a few months ago, and I mentioned Paul Rosenfeld. He was going to bomb. He's just going to set off a suicide bomb. They said he would have killed other people, but he wouldn't have, I don't think. It was just like a martyrdom, a protest. I was very impressed by that. So he's another one. He's American, but yeah, a lot of Israelis involved in the sortition. Israel Shahat, he went hard too against Judaism. He was an interesting character. Christopher Hitchens is a big fan of his. I haven't read much of his work, little bits and pieces, but he went hard too. He's hardcore. Some of these Israelis are really hardcore. Maybe the Americans. Ed Asner, I think he was on the Mary Tyler Moore show. Mary Tyler Moore, that's way back. And he's a bit of a 9/11 truther. Ed Asner, he's had a decent politics, supported Occupy Wall Street. He's sort of more of a bit of a socialist bent. Ed Asner, that was out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. So he died a couple of years ago. R.I.P. to Ed Asner, a very based individual. The old guy off Jerry Seinfeld, what was his name? I can't think of his name. His son's a famous comedian too. He was the old father in Seinfeld. His name's gone off from my head. The mad old father. He's George Costanza's father. Geez, funny. He's born to get old and play mean old men, because he played the same role in The King of Queens, and he really made that show. Be pretty bland, I think, King of Queens without Jerry. What's his name? I can't remember his name. I've gone blank. I might have to get his name and put it in the. You know who I'm talking about. Jerry Stiller. That's what his name. Ben Stiller. I can see his son's face. He's a famous comedian too, Ben Stiller. Jerry Stiller. He had pretty good politics too. He's supported single payer healthcare. 20 odd years ago, did an ad for it, they said. Just absolutely brilliant in Seinfeld. One of the great sort of ancillary characters in the history of TV. Jerry Stiller. And then he played the similar role in King of Queens and made King of Queens watchable. Just born to get old and played a cranky old man. Brilliant. So that's a few. Stanley Kubrick, they had 2001 on earlier on Viceland 31, and Paths of Glory, just a brilliant troll he was. The great man Kubrick, he just he really stirred the French up with Paths of Glory, one of his earliest ones, about 1957. Um, yeah, yeah, I think he was banned from France, or at least the Cannes Film Festival, for about 20 years. They made the French so angry. They were absolutely ropeable, and if you can make a Frenchman angry, I'm happy with you. Kubrick, gotta love Kubrick. Absolutely incredible person. So that's just a handful. Nigella Lawson, the buxom, the voluptuous kitchen goddess. She's liked a couple of my tweets, so that's and replied to one. So that's good. That's good enough for me. And she cooks awesome food. She looks awesome. A MILF still, 60 years old. That's good enough for me. So that's just a brief outline. That's just a handful. There's probably more if I put a great deal of thought to it, but I don't want to go on for too much longer. So happy Hanukkah to everyone, except for the guy who did the New York Times crossword puzzle. Pretty wild. That's the establishment journalist. Been owned by the Salzburgers, Jews, this very establishment Jewish, the Jewiest sort of newspaper in the world, probably. And they're putting swastikas, so it's a wild, isn't it? That's incredible. But that's a thing. Happy holidays to everyone. We've got the other Christmas coming on, and I've got to say happy holidays or whatever to everyone out there.